So since our lesson didn't record like we thought it was going to, I'm going to do this quick review here, recorded, of basically what we went over in the lesson, in the live session, so that those of you who didn't make it to the live session can still know what we did. So here is our worksheet that we had, week 1, day 2. We're going to just go through these, okay? So go ahead and open up to this page. All right, maybe I'll just project it over here so I can write on it too. Yeah, I don't have a smart board. Mine's a dumb board. I think I did that last time too. All right, so number 1, 3 plus -4 minus 8 times 22 plus 4 minus 11. So where is it that we start? We start in the parentheses. So, I'll just pretend like this is right here. So we'll just bring this down, plus -4 minus 8. Now what's inside those parentheses? 22 plus 4 equals 26. Good job, minus 11. All right, next step, get rid of the parentheses. 3 plus, what does this do? That 4 just becomes a -4. So it's no longer adding, right? I don't know why they really do this. Sometimes it's a little weird, but it just is more confusing. So anyway, they don't really need to have this here. We'll just make that a -4. Then we subtract 8 times 26. 26. What is the number? 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. 8 times 2 is 16. 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 208 minus 11. All right, keep going. We have 3 minus 4. So that's going to give us -1. Right, we have our difference. You just say the difference. So it's kind of similar to 4 minus 3 is 1, but because we have our negative here, then it's a negative number. Because our bigger number is a negative, then we end up with a negative number here. Okay, so we have our -1. I'm going to write it over here so we can kind of keep track of it. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to write it right here. Minus 208, and we'll just do this one step at a time. Okay, 208. Hopefully you guys can see it even though I'm writing over the top of these other numbers. Maybe I'll check that. Meh, you're fine. Okay, -1 minus 208. What does that give us? Gives us a negative because we're still going negative. Okay, so that'd be a negative 209 minus 11. Now remember, these are still negative, so then that's going to keep us going negative. Negative 220. All right. Erase that one. Okay, then we have our number 2 here. Simplify. You have 4 over 5 minus a negative 3 over 5. And I think that you guys were taught keep, change, or something to that effect. And I don't really know what that is. That wasn't around when I was doing this. So I just always learned that 2 negatives make it a positive. So 2 negatives make it a positive. So we have, this will give us 4 over 5 plus 3 over 5. Now, can we combine these? Yes, we can. They have the same number in the bottom, a common denominator. So let's go ahead and combine them. You just add up the 4 and the 3. So what's 4 plus 3? 7 fifths. It's kind of hard to write on the board sometimes. Now, this is what is called and I forgot what it's called, which is fine, because if you guys were here, I bet you could tell me what it was called. Some kind of wrong fraction. Anyway, we can simplify this a little bit. How else can we write this? We can make it a mixed fraction, which would be 1 and 2 fifths. We could also, by the way, for those of you who aren't following that one, you just take 5 divided by 7. How many times does 5 go into 7? Once. That leaves you 2. And then, if you want to, you can have this be a mixed fraction and say 2. This is your numerator, that's the one on top. And then fifths, because your 5 here is your denominator. That's the one on the bottom, so it's a mixed fraction. Improper fraction. That's what this is called, improper fraction. I knew I'd remember it. Okay. Number 3. What is 60% of 120? So, let's give it a try. What? We said you just use a letter, right? We're actually going to do it up here a little bit because I don't like going down that far. So what, we'll just say a W for right now, means equals 60%. So how do we write 60%? 0.60. It doesn't really matter if you have the 0 on there. We'll put it in there for right now. Of would mean to multiply 120. So what is that? Well, let's check. 120 times, oh, I guess we'll do it times that way, 0.6. All right, let's multiply it out. 6 times 0, 0. 6 times 2, 12. Carry your 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus the 1 is 7. And then you have this 1 decimal. So we make sure that we move our decimal over. So our answer is 72. All right. Number 4, if number 1, that's what it is. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look on your own things, your papers, okay? If number 1, well, maybe we'll just go ahead and write it over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's see if you guys can actually see it over there. Yes, you can. So, if the angle 1, that's saying this one right here, equals 108, so this thing here is 108 degrees. What is angle 2? Well, let's think about that. Do you remember something about a straight line and the angles that make up a straight line? Here is a way to remember it. For those of you who are doing sports or skateboarding, what do they call it when the skater is going one direction and he jumps up and does a whole circle and lands again? What do you call it? A 360. Whoa, he just landed his 360. What if he lands halfway? What if he lands, he's going forward and he lands and he's turned backwards now? What did he just do? He did a 180. That is a straight line. So this right here, from here to here, is a 180. okay? So we know that over here, if we call this an x, because we don't know what it is right now, we can say x plus 108, because that's what's left over here, right? Equals 180. Because we know that both of them together equal 180, right? So, what is 180 minus 108? Let's give it a try. 7, carry our thing over there, borrow some, whatever it's called. 2, 7 minus 0 is 7, 1 minus 1 is 0. So we know that our leftover angle there is 72 degrees. All right, last one for the review. Is not on here, but it is on my paper, and it's on your paper too if you're following along. Okay, so number 5 is a cubed root, that means that there's a 3 right here, of 27. Now this basically just says what number, if you multiply it 3 times by itself, is going to equal 27. So think about it. What number, if we do, we'll start with low numbers. If we try 2, 2 times 2 times 2, what is that? 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. No, not that one. How about 3 times 3 times 3? What is that one? 3 times 3 equals 9. Could go like that. 9 times 3 equals 27. Is that what we got? Yes. So the cubed root of 27 equals 3. All right. Now I'm going to start another video. So go over to the next video, and then we will go over what actually was the lesson as far as compound probability.